So we are going to stay on the food theme for just a moment. Judy Nicassio is a nutritionist with Rejuvena Health and Aesthetics. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So the Food Revolution Day was last week. This was founded by renowned chef
Jamie Oliver, British chef.
What's that all about in terms of bringing attention to why cooking at home is so important?
So Jamie has figured out that people actually don't cook at home anymore, and so people don't even know, or kids especially, can't even recognize certain fruits and vegetables. So he wanted to bring that awareness. So if we cook at home, the best way ever to teach kids is to have them involved in food preparation, and then they can develop their own healthy eating habits from very young on.
I thought that was so fascinating when I heard that a lot of them can't even recognize the vegetable. Why is that so important? Why does that matter?
Because of all the nutrients that are in good foods. If you can't even recognize what they are, this is going to be a problem. So we know when we go out to eat at restaurants, we get 50% more calories in a meal, more fat, and more sodium. So the flip side then to that is, well, if I start making meals at home, then I have control over food quality. I have control over the balance of the macronutrients, meaning how much protein, how much fat, how much carbs that I'm going to use. I have control over portion size. And even, you know, like allergies, I know what I'm putting in my own food. So this is very important to pass on to the kids. And I think even something like passing on recipes from generation to generation, which I know in our family we have Italian heritage, and that's a great thing.
It's so important too because it's really bringing the family together on a regular basis. So those are the obvious benefits. What are the not so obvious benefits to cooking at home, and especially what it lends to children?
Yeah, and I think you might be surprised to hear some of the stats, because I know I was. And I think because of this sense of belonging when we're gathering together as a family to eat, you know, the stats are showing that teens are less likely to smoke cigarettes. They're less likely to get involved in doing dangerous behavior like with drugs or alcohol, and they actually get better grades. And even like young girls are less likely to develop bulimia or anorexia or experiment with diet pills. So, I mean, these are things that I never even thought about myself as a nutritionist.
And I didn't either, and I was going down the list of some of the facts that came to light. Families who eat together frequently, you know, they're much more prone to promoting the benefits of fiber or calcium or even vitamin E and D, right?
Right, because you're making your own meals, and you know, we try to get the colors of the rainbow and do all those different things when we're eating our own meals. So you do have more fiber, you do have more antioxidants, so, and vitamins and minerals. It just naturally occurs because I'm buying fresh food and making it at home.
Are there certain meals that you would suggest that we cook more often than others? Because I know sometimes when we're thinking about, oh, what do we make for dinner tonight, you sort of get into the rut of doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I mean, I think that planning meals ahead, food planning, is really important. And so I really encourage our patients, like, first of all, start out with foods you already like, and then you can make them healthier versions of those foods. But now we have no reason not to. We can get online and all these different recipes. You've got the Food Network. You've got so many reasons why, that you never have to repeat a meal. You know, so I think it's much easier now than it used to be.
Well, and it's much easier now to substitute certain things, too, to make a meal that maybe you thought wasn't so healthy a little healthier, right?
I do this all the time. I take, you know, people will come in and their kids are picky eaters, so they'll say, these are the only foods my kids will eat, and then we'll go through it and we'll just modify those meals and start them out in that place so that they're more successful in implementing a healthier food plan.
Do you find sometimes it works, too, to sneak little things in? Like, say, if you're making macaroni and cheese, you sneak in some broccoli.
Yeah, exactly. Some vegetables, or of course, if you're doing like protein shakes, you know, or meal replacement shakes, it's always easy. With my grandkids, I always had good luck in like putting things in there, and as long as they didn't see me, they'd, oh, Grandma, this is so good, you know, and I'm like, yeah, it really is. So absolutely.
Whatever it takes. So Food Revolution Day was last week, but of course the awareness continues. How did this start with Jamie Oliver? I mean, what did he notice?
Yeah, about 5 years ago. Well, I think he was horrified too in the schools, the food that they were serving in the schools. He started in Britain, but then he came over to the United States and, you know, visited some of the states that were really in dire need. with childhood obesity. You know, this is what we hear now, the stat that kids are not going to live as long as their parents, and he was really horrified by that statistic. So he decided he was going to do something about it. So he not only started out in Britain, but then he moved it to worldwide. So now we're celebrating it worldwide. And I think, you know, it's also important to note that there's additional benefits to home-cooked meals, because it's like less carbon footprint, because we're not eating packaged processed foods, right?
You just feel so much better. And I love that you have so much great information and tips of your own on WeRejuvenate.com. That's where you can find out more from Judy. Thank you so much for being here on the Morning Scramble. And McMahon's Minute is coming up next.